What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. And today we will be talking about something that I didn't think I would have to talk about. I honestly was prepared to come on here and talk about the mid-season grades for the Philadelphia 76ers, being third in the NBA overall, first in the East, and also to talk about some possible trade candidates, potential trades, because there's a lot of things heating up for the Sixers. But we will be talking about the NBA All-Star Game and how Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons won't be in it due to COVID-19 restrictions. But before we get deep into that, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn post notifications on, and smash the like button for your boy. With all that out the way, let's jump into today's topic. Wow. Real quick, we will talk about mid-season grades in this video, but I probably won't get into all my potential trades, because I got a lot of guys I think the Sixers can look at for different reasons. Guards, forwards, but mainly guards, because I think we need to up the shooting off the bench. That is what has been inconsistent for the Philadelphia 76ers. The shooting in the starting lineup and the shooting off the bench. And that's what I think we really got to turn around if we want to compete for a title. But we will talk about midseason grades on this video. Let's start with this breaking news. Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid will not be playing in the All-Star game. They said it about 30 minutes ago. Zion Williamson will take over for Joel Embiid on Team Durant. I'm not sure who's going to take over Ben Simmons. That's probably going to come out while I'm doing this podcast. But a barber in Philadelphia tested positive for COVID-19, and both Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons were around the barber. Now, nothing has been said that Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons are feeling symptoms, have tested positive, nothing like that, but a barber that they have known to be in contact with did test positive. So the way COVID's been going, depending on if they got their shots and whatnot like that, who knows? Maybe they could be having it, developing it. I'm not really sure how that all works. But what does that say for March 11th? Today's March 7th. If they do end up contracting COVID-19, well, now they only don't sit out of the NBA All-Star Game, which that's kind of why I wanted to watch it, to see my guys, our guys, go to work. I mean, I love the NBA overall, but come on, the MVP should be in the All-Star Game. But what is that going to do for the Sixers March 11th game, March 13th, 14th, 15th, you know? If they end up sitting out for a week and a half, 2 weeks, that's going to put a damper on our team. With the Nets close on our heels, we can afford to have our two best players, or two of our three best players, however you feel, being out for COVID-19. And who knows who Joel and Ben talked to on the Sixers staff that can possibly get it. And we got to go through this 9 76ers once again, or them 7 76ers once again. So I don't understand what's going on, man. Like, things are supposed to be reopening. We're supposed to be getting better, and this is happening. I don't know. COVID-19 hurt us early in the season. We lost a good 2 or 3 games solely due to COVID. Now, I know it's happened to a lot of teams as well, but come on. I mean, I really don't care about the other teams, to be honest, you know what I mean? But I was going to get ready to possibly enjoy this game, 8 o'clock, watch a little bit of it. I know it don't really mean nothing, but it is what it is. Now, no Joel Embiid. Team Durant looking like they're going to get blown out by Team LeBron, you know what I mean? And shame on LeBron James for taking Giannis and Curry over Joel Embiid. Shame on you, LeBron. Shame on you. Now, before we get into the midseason grades, because I do want to talk about that, like I said, we probably won't talk about the potential trades on this video, but that will give me more time to look up, because I got about 5 to 7 guys, some guys that have been reported and some guys that you might be sleeping on, that I want to talk about. So if you're new, hit the subscribe button, stay tuned. We'll be talking about that tomorrow. Shout out to everybody. But before we go to the midseason's grades, let's hear a quick segment from our sponsor. This episode of the Philly Talk Podcast is sponsored by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. They're obsessed over their technology, developing to provide you with the best tools for your grooming experience. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. And we got an exclusive offer for the Philly Talk Podcast listeners. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code, you already know what it is, Philly Mike at manscaped.com. Remember, Philly Mike is all capital and get 20% off at manscaped.com. Real quick before we get back to the content, you got a girl, you got a wife, get this product and they will treat you nice. Best believe that. Definitely go cop yourself at Manscaped. I mean, they have great stuff, great quality. You will not be disappointed. But let's get back to the Sixers. So now that we got all that COVID-19 disappointment stuff, and like I said, hopefully it doesn't take into our season. Let's get to the midseason grade, and I'm going to have to come off the grip and give us a A-, a low A. I was really thinking about, is it a B+ or an A, but I'm going to go with an A. Like I said, third overall in the NBA, first in the East with a 24-12 record. We did lose a couple games due to COVID. We did lose a couple games due to the fact that Joel Embiid wasn't there. So when you look at this team overall, we lost to some easy teams, but we also beat some legit teams. Beating the Utah Jazz in overtime. I don't care what anybody says about the refs. MVP Embiid with the step back. Stop it. Stop it. And real quick to talk about that Jazz and Sixers complaining. You're not going to get foul calls when you shoot the most threes in the NBA because the average three-point shooting team, you're not going to get the foul calls. That a Sixer team who goes to the hole. If you got Tobias, Ben Simmons, Dwight Howard, and the MVP Joel Embiid going to the hole in clutch time, you're going to get fouls called. If you're shooting fadeaway threes, you're not going to get foul called. That is just the obvious answer. But back to the midseason grades. I'm going to go with an A-. Now, like I said early on, the potential trades that we'll talk about on Monday or Tuesday, they're going to be a lot of at the guard and forward positions, guys who can make their shots because that's where we've been inconsistent. If you guys watch my play-by-play, I always say the Sixers will dominate if two of these four players are consistent in a game. That's Danny Green, Seth Curry, Furkan Korkmaz, or Shake Milton. If these guys are shooting consistently, just two of the four were able to spread our team around and get stuff done. You will see times where Danny Green starts, but he gets less minutes than Shake. Seth Curry starts, and he gets less minutes than Shake or one of these guys if he's struggling, and that's where we got to find more consistent basketball play for this team. But as I'm saying that, I still don't know if I would mess up the starting lineup. Danny Green, Seth Curry, although they've been inconsistent, they just were able to gel. I mean, the extra passes, you get a guy who can shoot, but he's not familiar. He's not going to do the extra pass. He's not going to have that chemistry. And the dry spells don't really happen with the starting lineup. It normally happens with the bench. I need Doc Rivers to stop doing that all bench lineup, although it did come clutch in a Utah Jazz game. You got to have Ben Simmons. You got to have Tobias Harris. You got to have somebody on the floor with them and rotate. And that's why I'm starting to like when Furkan is possibly in with a Joel and he's hitting them across court and Furkan's making them. But again, consistent shooting is what we lack. And that's why I got to give us a low A. I was struggling thinking about giving us a B+, a high B. But again, first in the East, third overall in the NBA, you have the MVP on your team, and when you look at it, you know, the MVP was playing more games, whether it was COVID related or just maintaining him because he's a big dude, and we got to make sure he's healthy for the playoffs. So this team could probably be a lot better. The chemistry's still there. I just think the second unit, you just need that complementary player to go along with Shake Milton, whether that's a Harrison Barnes, whether that is a possible Austin Rivers. And I'm not naming the power forwards and the small forwards like the Larry Nances and the PJ Tuckers because they might give something to our team, but not what we really need. We need ball handling guards who can be consistent in shooting. And Austin Rivers is Doc Rivers' son. And since Derrick Rose went to New York Knicks, he kind of fell out the rotation, so why not part ways with him or maybe be able to get him in a buyout? And that's another reason why I wouldn't trade for a guy like PJ Tucker, because you could most likely get him in a buyout. The dude's playing 30 minutes and only averaging like 4 or 5 points. His defense is better than Mike Scott, but not so much his offense. So I don't know, but that's where I stand for the midseason grade. I think the inconsistent shooting is our biggest downfall, and it's going to happen, but not at the clips we allow it with different people. I mean, you got to have two of these four guys be a little bit more consistent. I'm expecting that out of a guy like Seth Curry and Shake Milton to really carry the Danny Greens and the Furkan Korkmaz's, who always been streaky in their career, and especially this far in Danny's career. And again, if you swap Danny Green out with someone else who's just as inconsistent and you're not really fixing the bench, I don't think you're really doing anything. So I'm trying to get a guy off a buyout who's going to be able to come in with the bench. If you take Danny Green off, then you got to implement the guy you just got and or Shake Milton into the starting lineup, and that's not fixing the bench, especially if Doc Rivers is going to keep throwing out that all bench lineup, which he cannot do in the playoffs, because you know when the playoffs come, it's a 8 or 9 man rotation, so you're always going to have a starter with the bench. So I'll feel more comfortable about that. And I just don't think we're going to get much from Tyrese Maxey later in the season in the playoffs. I just don't think he's going to find minutes. I'm not saying he's not good, but Doc Rivers is not playing him, so nothing's going to make me think he's going to. I think right now, 8-man rotation, you got to trust Dwight Howard to get some backup center minutes a little bit. You got to trust Shake Milton as that main guy at the guard position off the bench. And then you got to pick your poison. If you're going to go 9-man, it's going to be Matisse and Furkan. If it's going to be an 8-man, you got to look at who you're playing. Do you need defense? Throw Matisse in. You need offense? Throw Furkan in and pray to God that he's on today. You know what I mean? Just pray to God that he's on. I mean, that's all I can think at this moment. So with that being said, I'm going to have some real in-depth breakdowns on possible trades coming up. It's going to come out either on Monday or Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, I don't know, but we're going to get it out early in this week. I started working on it now, and I stopped working on it now to just talk about the COVID-19 stuff. Like, huh? Really? With all that being said, I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, comment your thoughts down low on the COVID-19 thing, and what are your midseason grade for the Philadelphia 76ers? Until next time, you know what time it is. We out.